If you look here, we have another report, which is the part 4, that has the date column, Apple product categories, we have the sales method, we have countries, we have cities, we have product models, and we have sales USD. So normally what managers want to see is maybe the performance from January sampai December. Manager want to see, okay, January sampai December, siapa yang tinggi? And then maybe the manager wants to know what is the breakdown for maybe each countries or each product. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to a new Power BI. Okay, new Power BI. So I'll create a new Power BI over here, and I'm going to click on import data from Excel. So once I click over here, you will notice a quota will appear. You need to know where you save the file. You click it over here, and then after that, you just press open. Once you press open, so this time I want to choose part 4. Why? Part 4 is the final part, and over here kita ada date, Apple product, sales method, countries, Apple product models, and sales USD. Always what I do is I press load. I think you roughly know when you tekan load, it will automatically load to the data over here. When you click cancel, of course cancel. But when you click transform data, what happen is when you click transform data is it will go to Power Query Editor. Okay, it will go to Power Query Editor. So this one is basically to clean the data. So dalam Power Query Editor ni we can do the cleaning. But just say you want to go back to Power BI. When you want to go back to Power BI, over here there is a home ribbon. So my friends, can you see the ada tak kat sini home ribbon? Can you see this? Can you type number 3 if you can see this? So just say I tertekan transform data. Saya tersilap tekan transform data. I want to go back to Power BI. If you want to go back to Power BI, you need to click on close and apply. So you click on close and apply. Automatically what happen is it will try to go back to Power BI. It will load the data to Power BI. So now if you look carefully, it will try to check the size of the Excel report, and it will show you that this is our report. Like as usual, like I told you, bila ada symbol mathematic, when has a symbol mathematic, this indicates that this is a numbers column. If there is a cumulative sign over here, this indicate the column is number. But if you look carefully, for date there is no calendar. If you look carefully, just say let me go to over here. So this is my Excel report. This one is huruf. This is a perkataan, huruf text. The last column, if you notice, this one is basically a numbers column. This is a numbers column. But if you look carefully over here, this one is date. By right, it should show the date calendar. But if you look carefully, dia tak tunjuk pun. They never show the date column. Okay, so maybe you want to figure it out. Why? So just say I click over here, I click the date, I click the sales. So what happen is, it will show the date, but they never show the month, quarter, and so on. Why? Okay, why is it so? Because if you notice carefully, this one is a numbers column, but this date ni, they never show the calendar column. So why? Because it's not able to recognize. So how to tukar? How to make sure the date is recognized? Very simple, you need to go to Power Query Editor. You need to go to Power Query so that dia boleh transform the data. So my dear friends, if you look this carefully, kat sini ada cumulative. Cumulative means, that means dia ada the symbol mathematic. This indicates that the column is a numbers column, a nombor column. But by right, your date column should have a calendar. So it doesn't show a calendar over here. So if just say you want to change the format, what you need to do is you need to go to the transform data. So my dear friends, can you see, nampak tak kat sini transform data? If you can see transform data, can you type number 4 in the chat box? Okay, so what you need to do is you need to click on transform data. It will go to Power Query Editor. Okay, this one is very critical. You see here, kat sini nampak tak? ABC Apple product categories, ABC sales method, ABC continent, ABC country. Nampak tak huruf ABC kat sini ni? If you can see the word ABC, can you type number 5 in the chat box? Nampak tak kat sini ada ABC? So over here there is a letter called ABC. So this ABC indicates that it is a text format. This ABC indicates that it is a text format. So now if just say, let me just press escape, go to the right. On your right hand side, we have sales USD. Sales USD over here ada 1, 2, 3. What is this 1, 2, 3? That means it is a whole number. But if just see when I scroll to the left, here we have ABC 1, 2, 3. What is ABC 1, 2, 3? ABC 1, 2, 3 means this indicates that this one over here, it is actually, they don't know whether it's a text or number. So we need to actually customize to date column. Why they actually don't know? Because kat sini ni ada campur aduk. Ada satu data ni date. Ada kat sini ni tarikh dengan masa. So the Power Query pun confused. Yang ni tarikh ke date format. So what you need to do is you need to click on the ABC 1, 2, 3. You need to go to the date. Click it over here. So you have the date over here. And then you go to close and apply. And once you click close and apply, so eventually what happen is it will show into this format. So now you can actually expand. Okay, I don't want everything. I don't want all this. So I unselect. I select the months. If you don't want the months, you can select quarter. Up to you. Okay, you nak pilih quarter pun boleh. You nak pilih month pun boleh. Up to you. Okay, so now we have this data. So let me just put the data label so my manager can see. This is the data label. Let me adjust the size accordingly. Okay, so I'll adjust the size accordingly so that everybody can see over here. So kita ada January, February, March, April, May and so on. Alright, so this is the data. And then what I'll do is I'll click on the white color screen. Okay, I click it over here. And then you will notice kat sini ni ada satu perkataan called matrix. Over here, if you notice over here ada matrix. Matrix is something like your pivot table. Matrix ni is something like your pivot table. What is pivot table? If you pernah guna Excel, we have a feature called pivot table. So matrix ni ada pivot table. I'm going to click it over here. And what I want to do is, actually I want to tick the, okay, you see here, bila saya tekan matrix, ada row, ada column, ada value. Ada row, ada column, ada value. So just say you put the Apple products at the row, dia akan tunjuk dalam setiap row. Dia akan tunjuk dalam setiap row. If just say you put it at column, dia akan tunjuk pada setiap column. Dia akan tunjuk pada setiap column. So if just say you put at the row, it will appear in a row format. And then you can actually put the month at the columns. So it will appear in a month format. And you can tick the sales USD. So what happen is you can actually see the breakdown. So here if you notice it is 45,000. Here we can see the breakdown. Here is 35,000. Here is the breakdown. Here is 182,000. Here you can see it's a breakdown. So you can actually click it over here and then you can press comma. And just like that, it will show you the accounting format. If you want to increase the size, contohnya I want to increase the size of the numbers over here. Because it's very small, you cannot see the numbers. It's very small. So you go to format your visual. Over here, we do have values. And then you change the number to just say 15. So now the numbers looks bigger. Or you want to put 13 also can. So now it looks better. Then if just say you want to increase the size of Apple Watch, iPhone. Okay, can, no problem. You see here, the numbers is actually very small. Let me undo. Okay, let me undo one more time. You see here, the numbers is very small. So how to actually make sure the numbers here bigger? What you need to do is, you need to go to format your visual. Over here, there is a thing called format your visual. Format visual boleh tukar bentuk, tukar color and so on. So over here, we have values. So you go to values. Here, the size is very small. You can actually increase to 13. So then right now, it looks bigger. So Mohan, did I answer your question? So if you want to actually increase the size, you go here. How if just say I want to increase the January, February, March? Column header. So column header is your January, February. This one is the January, February, March is your column header. So what you do is you can go to 13. So now it looks bigger. How to increase the Apple Watch, iPhone? Well, you can go here, row header. You click here, you put 13. And just like that, it can increase the size. Okay, so now let me just put it down over here. Let me just put it here. And let me click a slicer. So I'll just click a slicer. Like I show you, slicer is to make a pilihan. You click a slicer over here. And then what you do is, maybe you can actually, how I can add comma. Okay, how you can add comma? That's a very good question. If you see here, kat sini ada comma kan? You use your mouse, you tekan pada sales USD. Why you tekan pada sales USD? Because that is the column that has the numbers. You don't select on Apple product, you don't select on countries. Why? Your Apple product is a perkataan. Your countries is a perkataan. So use your mouse, select on sales USD. Once you select the sales USD, you need to click on the comma over here. Can you see your comma, Mohan? Maybe you can type yes, you can see. Okay. Alright, so now the thing is, I'm going to click on a slicer. I click slicer and I just want to click maybe on countries. And maybe I put in a tile format. Ikut you lah. You nak dalam drop down pun boleh. We have a drop down, we have a tile. And I just select over here. Okay, so let me just change. So you just say I click on India. So we get to know that India, we have about 1,000 sales on January, 1,000 sales in February. But bulan March, suddenly out of nowhere, we get 92,000. So your manager can see the story behind the numbers. If here is 31,000, here is basically the breakdown. If just say, oh wait, let me just move over here so that everyone can see. Here is 38,000. So over here, you can see the breakdown. Why is 38,000? Why is 60,000 and so on. If just say I click on Malaysia. So Malaysia, we don't have every month. We only have February, April, June, July, August. Of course, this is a fictional data. This data is not a legit one. It's a fake data. But actually, we can get an understanding. So when you click this, you get the performance from January up to December. And you can get the breakdown actually.